If you're going to ask players to invest time, every room needs to matter. That doesn't mean everything has to explode in currency, but something, tiered gear, crafting options, deterministic value needs to be there in every single room. GGG clearly understands that rewards weren't scaling, because the biggest change in this patch is a straight up buff to temple modifiers. They're roughly doubling the values of existing room modifiers at all tiers. On top of that, several tier 3 rooms now add extra enemies directly into the temple, like Corrupted Abominations, Unchained Beast, Royal Sentinels, Royal Colossi, High Priest, and Quadrilla Sergeants. This is good because it ties room progression directly to temple payoff. Upgrading rooms shouldn't feel like it's a checkbox anymore. That's the kind of feedback loop the Fate of the Vault desperately needs. Another small but important change is the Treasure Vault now adds 25% increased item rarity to the entire temple. That's huge, not because rarity is exciting, but because it finally makes that room feel like it's a real multiplier instead of just a side note. This is the direction the League mechanic needs to lean into. Rooms that meaningfully affect the entire temple experience, not just a single chest or corner. One of the quiet frustrations of the Fate of the Val has been crafting benches that felt half-finished. Exalt, Vol, and Alchemy benches existed, but you couldn't actually take the currency with you. That restriction was meant to be lifted after Act 3, but it just never happened. But now it does. After Act 3, you can finally take those currencies instead of being forced into a single-use decision. It's honestly pretty wild that that didn't make it into the launch of the League, and it still doesn't solve the issue when it comes to lack of currency in the temple. They didn't expand on this issue in the patch notes, but if the amount of currency coming out of those crafting benches is still 1 per bench, the issue remains virtually the same. Another interesting addition is that GGG added medallions that apply random waystone modifiers to your temples for 10 runs, so you can now juice your temples deliberately. This is an excellent addition because the Fate of the Val shouldn't be balanced around the lowest risk version of the temple. It should reward players who opt into difficulty the same way high juice maps do. Another medallion allows you to re-roll rooms waiting to be placed. If you ever brick the temple because the game refused to offer you one of the rooms you needed, you already know how important this is. This doesn't eliminate RNG, and it shouldn't, but it reduces that feeling of being completely at the mercy of bad rolls. So now let's talk about the Architect. Before this patch, beating the Architect often felt like a punishment. You'd win, and then lose massive progress, and the rewards rarely justified it. That's being addressed in several ways. Fewer rooms removed after defeating the Architect, better connectivity for reward rooms. Architects can now connect to any adjacent room. Tablet crafting can no longer destroy tablets. Higher tier unique vaults now exclude low value uniques, and extraction chambers are rarer and limited. This is all generally good, because the Architect encounter should